Do we look too eager? Just kidding. All right.
Do we want to sit back more?
What's up, guys? Welcome to This Week in Madden Show 102. Starting off with a free scheme for your Thanksgiving. Gibbs is thankful to give this to you guys. It's going to be the Green Bay Packers Playbook. So right now, what I want you to do is get on any gen of Madden. Doesn't matter. PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4. This will work on any gen. We're going to run it on current gen, so Xbox 360. So that's the gameplay you'll be seeing tonight. Load up the Packers Playbook, and we are going to use who, Gibbs? Tell them a little bit about our team selection.
Carolina Panthers, a team that beat my New England Patriots a couple weeks ago on Monday night. And what I like about them is obviously Cam Newton has the mobile ability, but then their backfield, they have about 5 guys that you can give the rock to. Tolbert, Barner, Stewart, and Williams. And then what I love about them is you complement all that speed in the backfield, all that running capability in the backfield with guys like Ted Ginn and Steve Smith on the outside. And you have great hands with guys like Brandon LaFell and Greg Olsen at the tight end position.
So if you don't want to use the Panthers, you're going to still need a mobile quarterback. So you could go with the Bengals. We've broken them down in our last guide. So you know their offensive capabilities. You know what Josh Johnson can do as a mobile quarterback. You can use them. You can definitely use them. You could use the Raiders if you wanted to. Maybe he doesn't have quite as much all around, but Marcel Reese is great, and Terrell Pryor is going to get it done. You could use the Niners, but everybody uses the Niners, so we'll pass on them. And you could use the Seahawks, but they don't have quite as much offensive weaponry with the inability for a pass-catching halfback. So we did choose the Panthers, but those are the qualities you're going to need for this scheme. So let's get into game here, and we will show you. Now, if you guys are looking to purchase the Winner's Kit, which is available at MaddenTips.com. It gets you 8 full guides plus brand new content coming up for next gen, all included, thrown in. You're going to have a great chance this weekend for Black Friday to get it at an incredible discount. So the best discount we've offered, even better than 50%. It's higher than that. It's a huge deal. So we usually have a discount code for you guys every time on TWIM, but if you wait just a few days, once you're done pounding all that turkey, you're going to get an incredible deal on the Winner's Kit at MaddenTips.com. So check that out. Keep an eye out on Friday for a big email, big deal, and be on Madden Tips this weekend, guys. Huge stuff coming up, and we will see you guys in-game. Load up Green Bay Packers
with the Carolina Panthers.
Carolina Panthers. All right, we'll see you in-game. All right, here we got this one from Splashy McSplash. On Madden 25 for Xbox 360, who are the best man coverage teams, and who are the best zone coverage teams? All right, so good question here, and as we jump in game, we'll take a look at the man coverage ratings first. As you can see, the Bears actually doing a pretty good job. What we've done here is just sorted by all, and we'll take a look. Gibbs, how many man coverage are you looking for? 2, 3? You know, what matters to you?
I'm looking for at least 3, and I need my first 1 and 2, I need them to be elite. If we're talking the best in the game, I need 1 and 2 to be in the 90s, and then 3, I'll get away with mid 80s, or I'll take high 70s, mid 70s if they have something like 95 speed, 97 speed, something like that.
So great balance here from the Bears. You can see that both corners have great man and zone coverage, and then if you wanted to play man, you could go Bowman, and if you wanted to play zone, you could use Frey in the slot.
Yeah, they definitely have good zone coverage as well. So they're a solid. That's a solid team, not the best, but that's a solid overall.
I'm going to put them in the top 5 though.
And then we have the Bengals, one of my favorite teams, and while they don't have the great elite man coverage ratings, like what I like about them is 89, 88, 86, 84, and then we're getting to your 5th, 6th, and 7th corners, and they all have solid man coverage ratings.
Right, and he's 6'2", and he's a rook.
Caleb, 97 speed. So, I mean, these are guys that are all stout, and then on the zone coverage side, you can see where they're very, very elite as an elite zone coverage team with Leon Hall, 95, Kirkpatrick, 92, with good size, and then you have guys like Nelson in the secondary with 87 zone. This is, in my opinion, one of the top secondary man coverage, zone coverage.
For our safeties, we're big fans of zone coverage because they're going to spend most of their time playing zones. The only time they're going to be playing man coverage is if they blitz, and then you got to really look out for certain routes.
Let me take a look at the Bills. Bills solid across the board, actually, man coverage-wise. Zone coverage, you obviously have Bird, who makes him a monster, then Gilmore. So this is actually a surprising team. I mean, it shouldn't be surprising because I rated them as one of my top 5 teams in the game early in the year. And this is probably one of the major reasons why. I really value secondary players, and the Bills are a solid squad. Broncos, I mean, that's a upper echelon man coverage team.
That we're going to put them in probably number 4, number 3.
And then you get guys like Michael Huff, who's just a great guy to have. Then you have Tony Carter, who's, in my opinion, a great Madden gem. Let's take a look at their zone coverage. A little weaker in zone, but manageable. So you obviously want to play a lot more man with this team.
70-30.
Right. You want to play a lot more man with this team and then check down to the zone coverage every once in a while. Take a look at the Browns. A little diamond in the rough right there for the Browns. You have a complete lockdown corner in Joe Hayden.
Not much else.
After that, you kind of get into tough situations. But
next.
A little zone coverage get away. Bucks, obviously Revis Island.
Similar. One gem, nothing else. Next.
Done. Then we take a look at the Cardinals. You got Patrick Peterson, 1 gem.
Used to be one of the greatest secondaries in the game. Next.
You gotta like Honey Badger though.
True. I respect them.
Chargers.
Next. I don't even want to.
Day at the office. You're gonna play a lot of zone with them. Chiefs, upper echelon team, obviously. A little more flexibility. I think they have a little more depth, maybe than the Broncos. Not loving their zone coverage. Like their man.
Next. Not in the top 5 for me.
Sanders Cummins pretty good though.
He's battling Rogers Cromartie for the longest double name in the NFL.
Yeah. Colts, not that good.
Next.
Cowboys used to be one of our favorite teams. They're getting next.
Next.
Dolphins, that's a next. Brent Grimes.
Cowboys actually aren't that bad. I hate them. Eagles. Next.
I think Eagles, you kind of get away with their zone. I like the Eagles a little bit of zone coverage. Falcons, man coverage. You're just next in everybody? Niners here. Solid squad. Solid. We always talk about them. Look at that zone coverage across the board. You have all guys. I mean, one guy's Patty Willis, but
they can party.
They're pretty good. You're not going to want to play too much man. That's their one bugaboo. That's one thing I always say about them.
Giants next.
Ugh. What do they do? They do zone well. They got a lot of guys that play zone well.
They zone so hard.
Jaguars. That's tough. That's real tough.
I'm just going to guess.
Jets.
I was a big fan of Cromartie.
And Milner is pretty good too. I mean, across the board, he's solid. You have 2 guys with good speed and can cover. So
next.
I do like them. So right now, we're going to next the Lions. Packers, I like the Packers. Like a little bit of the Packers in my life.
Love the Alpacas.
Packers, underrated defense, would you say? Look at Casey Hayward.
Always.
Underrated defense.
That's legit.
They got great zone coverage. You're elite there.
I'm putting them in my top 5.
Sam Shields is a diamond in the rough, I think, with great speed, top-end speed, but good coverage skills as well. Panthers.
Probably next.
That's a big next in the secondary. Solid zone. Captain Munderland, 5'8", though. You can't love that. Patriots.
Next.
Pretty good.
I like to leave, though.
Pretty good.
Next.
That's pretty good. Zone coverage, 97. Kind of good. Kind of good. Patriots a sleeper right there. Raiders. Not the Raiders of yesteryear.
Or are we playing 25?
Not the yesteryear. Rams.
Probably next.
Ravens.
Like Ladarius, but probably next.
Definitely next. Redskins are going to surprise some people, I think, because
D-Hall's pretty good.
Because here's why: you have Josh Wilson and D. Hall.
Fast.
While they're lower rated man coverage ratings, I think they make up for that with their ridiculous speed as a 1-2 combination, 97 and 95 speed. I think that makes up for it. I think you lose a little bit of the coverage.
You lose a little bit of their ability to stay tight on cuts, but they can run with anybody. So you got to balance that out.
That's what I like about the Redskins. So
I'm gonna say next.
You're gonna next them?
Yeah, I like their 1-2.
Saints.
Probably next.
Not bad. Some depth there. You gotta like that Vaquero can play man and zone.
They're better than I thought.
Gotta like that he get good zone coverage. I like seeing that from your 1-2 corners. You can put them in the hooks, do our special little move there. I like the Saints. Seahawks.
Not next.
So is that surprising? Brandon Browner, 88 man coverage. I was expecting a little higher. They're ridiculous in zone coverage.
Silly.
That's the best zone coverage team in the game.
Silly. On next gen, if you play a lot of zone, you're going to want to use Seattle.
Next. Definitely next.
Probably next.
And the Texans.
Next.
Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. Jonathan Joseph, good speed. Same with Daniel Manning, so that kind of makes up for some things. Especially Manning, 96 speed at a strong safety. You kind of like that. So who are you going with your top teams?
So I liked a lot of the teams in the early part of the alphabet.
Bengals, Bills, Chiefs.
Yep. I do like the Packers a lot as a sleeper, and
Yeah.
I like the Seahawks. Those would be my kind of 5 right there.
Those would be my top 5, and I would rate them. I'd rate them Seahawks, Bengals,
Yep.
Chiefs, Packers, Bills.
And I probably go 80% man, 80% 2-man under, 20% zone. Gibbs probably goes 80% zone, 20% 2-man under. So
right.
we play different. So we do like different teams a little bit, but that's our top 5 man and zone teams, and better zone coverage on next gen. It's a lot more improved. So if you're playing on that, note those zone teams. If you're on the current gen with us here, stick with the man. That's what I like. From Easy E wants to know, this is in the run and shoot playbook. What are your reads on plays like 60 slide? All right, guys, let's take a look at this playbook. We're in the run and shoot playbook. We're going to take a look at the play 60 slide. So that's in trips for wide receiver.
Pistol trips.
Pistol trips. You can see 60 slide. You see all those routes. You might think, what the heck are those things? So starting off against 2-man under. So this play, these receivers all have option routes. 3 of them do. And so they can run anything that they want except RB. What the key is, though, is you still need to read the defense before the snap to know what routes your guys are going to run. So if Gibbs senses this is man-to-man, which it is, Steve Smith is going to curl after a certain amount of distance. And everybody else will run different routes accordingly. So we'll take a look first at the left side of the formation here against man-to-man. We should get a curl from Steve Smith pretty consistently, and you're going to be able to beat man-to-man using this route. If we get look like cover 3, what you're going to see is a curl flat concept on the right. LaFell, who just ran a streak, is now going to run a curl. And Hickson's going to pull down the flat zone, and that should be open. Ginn will be running possibly over the middle. He'll possibly be going deep in the seam. So this is something that will change, and it's not a consistent thing against cover 3. So,
but that's consistent.
That's consistent. But as you saw, Ginn ran a streak there in the seam, which you can sometimes fit in, but he will also sometimes break over the middle against cover 3. And you saw Steve Smith, who just ran a curl, is now running a deep route over the middle of the field. You'd rather have Ginn run a post there because it's just easier to fit that throw into that window.
It might be because of his awareness or his play recognition, so that's something you want to tinker with, but we have seen him run it.
If you see in cover 2 here, he's going to run over the middle, and as long as you can fit it behind that linebacker who's going to sink, potentially, you're going to have pretty good success. So you got to know where to go on these type of plays, and you got to know before the snap what coverages are going to make guys do what. They're cover 3 LaFell. So if you think LaFell's going to run, if you think that your opponent is in cover 3, so say pretend Gibbs messes up here. He thinks, oh, I got cover 3, I'm going to win that curl flat on the right. LaFell's not going to curl. Gibbs going to throw that when he thinks he's going to curl, and then all of a sudden, if he throws it to the right, though, by accident, it makes the wrong read, then you're going to be in trouble. So if he thinks I'm in 2-man under and I'm in cover 3, Steve Smith's not going to run a curl. Steve Smith's going to go deep. So if he throws to Steve Smith, he could be in trouble.
I have to click on and make a play. One thing I want to see here, can you go to a cover 3?
Yep.
And I want you to make a cover 4 out of it. Base line. I want to see if the game's smart enough to drop the strong safety into a deep zone, strong safety, and then place both outside linebackers in buzz zones. I want to see if the game recognizes this as a cover 4 or if it's going to do the same thing. If they'll run the... No. Well, no. Oh, did you see what they did? Yeah, the game recognized it. They all dropped on curls. Check that out. That was cool. I kind of dig this option offense. It's kind of nice. Watch, every receiver goes to a curl, which is exactly what you would want.
Because against cover 3, they were already running streaks.
Right. You don't want to run streaks against the cover 4. And then you have the flat route, and then you have the other route that sits in the middle there, which is a great zone buster. I'm kind of a fan of this.
Let's try one more play from this formation. So we're in the run and shoot still. There's another play called 61 go, maybe, something like that. So 61X choice, not a great option route. Go to another formation. Let's see what other option routes we have. There's some crazy-looking routes up in this offense.
All right. That's kind of a good one, the 60X1 choice. He runs an out, a post, or a streak, and then you have a corner or a deep end. You have a levels concept.
I like it.
It's like a dig and a dag.
And then you can put the guy B on and out.
Yeah.
Let's try it.
I kind of like it. Like,
so I'll come out in man-to-man.
What I like about it is you get your pre-snap read, like, okay, I think it might be 2-man under, but then you have to run this play against everything and see what they run it against. So stock, 2-man under, let's see what we get. We get the in, obviously, It looks like Steve Smith is going to run a vertical against man-to-man. Then what did Hickson run? Is Hickson going to run the in, or is he going to run the post? He runs the post.
Against
like that.
Two-man.
I like that because that's a nice route.
Yep.
Then you have the deep streak. And if you think it was two-man, another route you could put in is the route to LaFell. And then let's just check on Smith's route again and see if he runs that vertical. Yeah, so he's going to run the vertical. So you get the vertical against two-man, you get the post, and then you can put an out, and then you have another in. So that's beautiful. Now go to cover 3. So cover 3, let's see what we get. We'll start with Smith. Smith runs it out. Love that. Absolutely love a short little out. That's nice. Let's run it again one more time against cover 3, just to see if that reads the same. He runs that out again, and you gotta like the trips alignment, which makes it hard to cover that area of the field.
Right.
So go to cover 3 again, and Hickson, I'm guessing, is gonna run a levels concept with Ginn against the cover 3 here. So he's gonna get pressed. Yeah, and he runs the levels concept. So he runs the deep in where you have Ginn on the short in underneath. So like that. Cover 2, let's see what we get. We should get Hickson on I bet on a post. Smith, I'm thinking is going to run the sideline vertical. I'm thinking. So let's see what Smith does. Smith runs that vertical. You know what I like about that is Smith runs the vertical. It grabs the attention of the free safety, which really opens up the Hickson route. So Smith will run this vertical down the sideline, and then look at all that space you have there with that deep post to Hickson.
So yeah, just look out for the middle linebacker. So one thing I might do to try to make this better is I'd put Williams on a flat to the left, and I'd probably motion him out to the left.
Yeah?
Can we do that?
You like that?
I love it. I'm going to love it.
What if you're in cover 3?
And then
You don't think that muddies it?
I think then you swing it to Hickson for a block, or you swing it to Smith for a blocker, or you put him on a curl. You put him on a curl.
Right.
Because
I like
you're
the
gonna draw
option.
attention to the flat zone.
You don't want to take the option right away, though, right? Because what if your read's wrong? Then you're screwed.
I am the option route.
Well, then, but then now you're taking away the whole point of the option offense, right?
Debatable.
Something like that.
Debatable.
I want to mess with this a little more. I'm kind of into this because it simplifies everything.
Yes, it makes things easier, and it gives you more options on a play that you might have read wrong before the snap. It can give you some life to your play. Yes,
Right.
It can cause you trouble and danger. Where you're going to get in trouble is if you think I'm in cover 3 and I'm in 2 men under, and they run a streak and you throw it deep to them, and
Right.
you're going to get picked off.
I mean, the beauty of this is that I would think that I'm surprised. You know, I want to start actually running this because I think that if you run this, you're going to cause people fits because, in theory, you ever play one of those games where you play someone and you're like, they call the perfect play every time.
Yeah.
This is essentially calling the perfect play every time.
As long as you can read it.
As long as you can read it, but as long as your receivers always consistently run those routes, and if they consistently do that and they don't mess up, then this is a perfect offense.
And if they're able to, so say that we know where John Bostic's a monster. We know that if the game is going to, so let me make an adjustment here. So we know that if the game says,
Go make it cover 4.
right, you're in 2 man under, but then all of a sudden you're going to drop maybe some hooks.
Let's see what happens.
Will the game
So
adjust?
So Smith against that ran the vertical. He should run a slant here. He should run the slant, I think. He runs the vertical still.
So we got to figure that
You
out.
have to figure how it out.
And say, hey, if my opponent's adjusting, will the game know to adjust?
It did against cover
nicely?
4.
And it did do that
Give
earlier.
me, I bet against cover 4, I bet he'll run the slant. So baseline, just to get it set up properly. Give me a buzz zone on the right. So let's see what Smith does. No, he runs that out still. I wonder what he runs against that. Maybe like a zone blitz or something. But
So we'll be working on it, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah, those are your reads. You want to read it before the snap still, and then you want to just make sure you're right after the snap, and your guys will adjust accordingly. And it's got some nice spreads, and it's got pistol and shotgun. So the run-and-shoot playbook is what we selected there. Could be pretty nice little option. All right, let's take a look at our next question. Question coming in from Baby Ninja wants to know any good pressure from the nickel 416 in the Bears playbook. All right, guys, let's take a look at the sub 416. As you can see, we have it's a nickel style formation. Gibbs, what's the play?
So the play I like to take a look at here from this sub 416, so what we have here is the dime personnel, and the play I personally like is buck slant 3. And we'll show you the setup that we like to do here. So follow along from your Chicago Bears defensive playbook. Base a line, global zone your middle linebacker, and then you crash your defensive line out. You can move this nickel corner in a little bit, but not too much. I want him like right about here, because if he gets too close, I'll show you what happens. And then if you can, baseline twice to rebalance those underneath hooks, and then you want to either use a right or you can use the middle linebacker ball stick here. So to snap the ball, we should get pressure off this left edge. And what this does is it just isolates the center, prevents him from being able to make a decision and pick anybody up. And what's good about this is it's pretty quick to set up. A baseline, crash the D-line out, global your linebackers, and then essentially you're done. I do like to reposition that nickel corner.
Global zone your linebackers?
Yeah, global zone your linebackers.
So RB and right stick up will put all your linebackers on hook zones.
Which is only one in this play, ball stick. But you can see great balance. You'd cover the short part of the field and the deep, and you're going to get pressure off that left edge that comes off that left edge very nicely. Isolates the center. Other things that you could do out of this, guys, it's pretty simple. You could make other adjustments as far as, okay, if I need to take that flat away, maybe drop right to that flat. Oh, I need to take away Ted Ginn in the slot. I need to make sure a guy's manned up on him. These are just different adjustments that you can make on the fly.
Something that Pat should have done at the end on the last play.
Should have done that, yeah. So as you can see, there's just different things that you can do. The pressure is going to remain the same, but then you have the inner shell of the defenders to take away certain things, and that's how we teach defense at MaddenTips.com. And one thing that you can check out from our winner's kit is our latest defensive guide, where we teach you how to make these adjustments. We call them swing defenders. They're defenders that you can make adjustments to take away specific things that your opponent is doing. So one example of that is, say, I'm really being frustrated by a Steve Smith curl. So what I would want to do with a swing defender from this play that's not going to change the pressure behind it, I would take Major Wright, who is on the right side, or I could place Walters. These are my two swing defenders on this side, and I could place them in a buzz zone to try and take that route away. And then what ends up happening is I still maintain that same pressure, but now my coverage is in a better position to make a play on a curl to that right sideline. As you can see, he's right there. He didn't jump, didn't make a play. But the importance of knowing and recognizing who your swing defenders are to take away certain things is crucial. And that's what we teach you in the winner's kit. That's what we teach you in that Detroit defensive guide that you can purchase. And it's going to help you learn how to stop things like tight ends, screens, outs, curls, anything that's being a bugaboo to you offensively. We teach you how to stop it.
Big sale, Black Friday, guys. Come back to MaddenTips.com, get a huge discount. I'm telling you to wait. Most people wouldn't say that, but do it because you're going to get a great deal on it. It's every playbook we've put out, and it's a lot of content, so you'll have something to do this long weekend. Instead of spend it with your fam, you can hang out with them, but you'll be on the computer just learning Madden plays. MaddenTips.com, guys. All right, let's take a look here at our next question. Gibbs Gots Dots wants to know, what are some good ways to play bracket coverage on the tight ends? All right, guys, we are back here. Let's take a look at how to bracket tight ends. We got the 46 normal. Gibbs going to go with the speed package. Yeah or nay?
Yeah, I like the speed, but what I would say, too, is try bigger linebackers just because they're going to be able to muscle up with them, get a little more hit power, a little more ability to knock the ball loose. So, try it. I will go with speed in this example, but the play we're going to take a look at is Fire Zone 3. And what I like about this play is the yellows underneath the defense. So what I first would do with this is I global my yellow all my linebackers, and then I base a line twice.
So RB, right stick up, and then Y, and then right on the D-pad twice.
Right. Then the next thing I like to do is crash the line out, and then I quarterback spy the interior of the lineman. And what this is going to do is it's going to create a nice little shell defense underneath for my defense. Nope. Pick. Worked anyways. But what I like to do in this situation, so again, what we do, we come out and base a line. We global zone the linebackers, baseline twice to rebalance them. Crash the line out to get those outside rush angles on the tackles, and then we quarterback spy the interior of the defensive line. And then if you want to bracket the tight end, so what I like about having the 4 hooks is that they break outside to those curl routes that cause problems and outs, right? But then what I like to do from this formation, wherever my tight end is. So I see Martellus Bennett is split off the line of scrimmage. So what I would do is I would man him up with one tight end, and I like the defender back a little bit, right? And then what I like to do from here, come over with your other middle linebacker, Kuechly, and what I like to do is I like to get up in his face, and I'm going to take him away at the snap of the ball. I'm going to press him, and then I'm just going to trail off him. And now he's in a bad situation with other defenders on both his outside. He's got a man defender to prevent him from going vertical. And what this is going to do is just make it very difficult to complete passes to this linebacker or to this tight end over the middle, anywhere on the field, really. And like I was saying before, I like to do the man coverage from depth. So another thing you could do is maybe place Mitchell on the deep safety on him, and then use your other inside linebacker and get up in his face, press him.
And so what's key about Gibbs trailing off is, a lot of attention's being paid to the tight end. People would say, well, obviously you're not going to go to the tight end now. Yeah, that's the point. The point is you're bracketing this guy because he's killing you. And so once he does press, he backs off. So a normal player should look away from anybody that gets pressed off the line of scrimmage, and then they might try and come back across the middle, but Gibbs is going to be doing his best job to get back there, as you saw, and get in the way of the throw to Bennett into the area that he's vacating. So a good player will take away your best option. So if you're killing them with Bennett, you want to bracket him. That's going to work. And then from there, I'm going to look somewhere else. I'm going to try and say, well, who's he sacrificing to take out Bennett out of the game? Well, now other Bennett's going to be open. Press, I'm not throwing there. Okay, now I'm going to come back. And Gibbs is going to try and do his best to take the rest of that area away after the press. Some people will still throw to the guy after you user press them. Like they'll still throw right now because they're not paying attention. They just are a one-read person. And that can be frustrating, but generally you want to drop off because you have other duties on the play.
And so what I like about this play specifically is, one, you get the one-on-one rush with the outside tackle, so you're going to have a pretty solid pass rush. And then what I like is that we really take away any type of read over the short middle. And what you saw Farls do there is what I have found is the tendency of people when you take away that option, user press, they try and just throw a quick pass over the middle, but it's really not a good option because you have two underneath spies, and then you have defenders over the top of those spies. And my one responsibility after that, I'm not looking to stop that underneath streak. I'm just going deep. I'm going deep middle here, and I'm just trying to take anything away. And my other coverage, as you can see, did a nice job taking that away. And overall, there's just a lot of good coverage. This is the number one way I start taking away a tight end out of the game plan. You can do other things like mixed pressure. So, one idea would be...
And you can call two-man under... And you can bracket that way with what I do is take the deep safety because people tend to run corner routes. So I'll put a yellow on the outside hip. That's a way you can bracket. One other thing you can do is you could put... so one other way to bracket would be take the defender who's on Martellus Bennett and shade him inside or shade him outside, depending on where you're weak or where you think he's going. So if you shade... Bennett to the inside, well then you know that you need to help your guy outside with a yellow. If you're going to shade the defender outside on Bennett to stop like an out, then you know you're going to need Kuechly over the middle in case he does run a slant. And that's kind of how I think about bracketing when I go for stuff like that. So that's your option. Here it looks like he played him inside, Kuechly came over and tried to get outside, and vice versa. So if you want to play your man defender, you can play him right on there. You could use the safety for outside leverage. You could use Kuechly over the middle for inside leverage. That's an option by using the shade adjustments depending on the slant or the corner route.
So yeah, I mean, the idea is you want to, I think the most important thing that you need to take away from this is if you do one thing, it's to user press the linebacker. I mean, the other adjustments might be hard for you, but what I think you really need to do is just grab a defender, stand in front of the tight end, hold down L trigger, then you want to hold down the RB button, or the RB button on 360, R1 on PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4. You just want to stand in front of the tight end and press him. That's the quickest way you're going to start having better coverage against tight ends, in my opinion.
All right, guys, let's jump into our full scheme that we talked about earlier in the show. We talked about the ability to load up the Niners playbook with the Panthers, and we are about to get into that scheme.
We're going to so coming up, guys.
Packers.
So coming up, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to jump now, after this tips portion, we're going to jump into the Green Bay Packers offensive scheme using the Carolina Panthers. So we're going to give you a moment to do that. We'll come right back and start eating some turkey, turkey cobbler, some cranberry sauce, because we're coming right back.
Turkey cobbler?
Turkey cobbler for the bread. Never had that? Turkey cobbler? A cobbler sandwich. Turkey cobbler sandwich.
Broccoli
Grow
rabe?
up. No. Turkey cobbler sandwich. Cranberry sauce, mayonnaise, turkey, wheat bread,
Isn't cobbler
stuffing.
a pie?
No. Cobbler sandwich. Turkey cobbler sandwich. Grow up. Are you American? Have you ever heard of it? Turkey cobbler sandwich? I know Wolfman's heard of it. I know Chief's heard of it. I know Steven the Beast's heard of it. I know everyone in the chat's heard of it. If you've heard of this sandwich before, type 1, put it in the chat right now.
Sir Noble's like, Farls, you're not wrong here. Dr. Fresh, you're not wrong here.
Miss D. Toller's like, well, let me check my PS4 I'm about to get because I need to analyze this.
He's going Xbox One.
Oh, he's going Xbox One? Let me check my Xbox One, analyze this because I won it. So I'm going to check with my Xbox One I won on Twim and confirm my turkey cobbler sandwich.
Not a real thing, guys.
It's a real thing.
All right, guys, we're in game here. We got the Packers Playbook, and we're about to show you a full offensive scheme here on Twim 102, Thanksgiving edition. Type what you're thankful for in the chat, and you should be thankful for this scheme because the scheme is Cash Money Records. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at the first formation, gun, wing, offset, weak.
So this is our first formation. Let's talk about the order of the personnel that you need. So what I like with the Panthers, I like to get Brandon LaFell off my left edge here. He's the main guy in this formation where I will throw an out to. So I want one of my best hands guys to be in this spot. So I go with LaFell here. Then I go to my slot. My slot needs to be my fastest guys. That's why I go with Teddy Ballgame Ginn. He is an absolute burner. He's going to torch defenses in that slot and get one-on-one situations. And then I got Steve Smith on the outside, kind of does it all. I can use him, put him in motion, and things like that. Obviously, in the backfield, I have Mr. Greg Olsen, so he's a beast at the tight end spot. And then halfback, this might surprise some people, I go with Kenyon Barner. I go with Barner because he's got the best catch, and he's also got some good wiggle to him. So he's got good agility and acceleration. But you can't go wrong with any of those backs, only catching-wise. But Williams, Stewart, and Tolbert, they all get done. You like Tolbert in short yard situations to plow guys over. You like Stewart for pass catching situations and blocking, and you like D'Angelo Williams maybe as a true running threat,
General runner,
where Barner kind of does it all.
Like a poor man's Gio.
Right. I like how Gio has now been moved up.
He's a rich man.
Now he's a rich man. He was a poor man of McCoy, but now he's a rich man. So let's take a look at the first play, and it all starts with the FL screen. This is the play that I like to come out in when I run this scheme. And the way I set it up is very simple. The far left receiver, if I think I have man-to-man, I put the far left receiver on an out, and that's my main read against the man-to-man defense. Now, Steve Smith, what I'll do is I put him on an out as well, and he can also be a read against man. Another thing is if I think it's zone, I might put him on a drag because a lot of times the zone defense will overcommit to the screen side, and then I got him on the back side.
Yeah, I might
open.
run over there if I see it, and then all of a sudden.
Right. So that's a read. If you think zone, I like Smith on the drag. If you think man, I like him on an out and smart routed. So you have two outside routes that you can go to man, because if you run this play against man-to-man, it can be defeated. It's not that good against man. So against zone, this is where we go. The next adjustments I like to do is I like to place Greg Olsen on a wheel, and we'll show you why in a second. And then obviously Barner is on a swing to the right. I do like to slide protect my line to the right. I feel like it gives the offensive line a little bit more of a boost getting out to that right side. And then at the snap of the ball, I just kind of roll back and let the blocks develop, and then I look to get upfield as quick as possible with Barner. And this play is just a threat. Its purpose is to make your opponent know, hey, I can run a screen on you at any time. And if you do any type of zone blitzing, any type, you're in trouble. So a zone blitz is, usually 5 guys, 6 guys. So if there's a zone blitz, I'm telling you, you're going to roast your opponent with the screen. Look how many blockers I have. You're going to bust this wide open.
Just don't call it on 3rd and long, or Gibbs get really upset at you.
I get so upset if you call it on 3rd and long. But any zone blitz, you're gonna bust this for the big one, and that's what this play is designed to do. Zone coverage is just not an option when you have this play at your disposal. nonstop, play after play, time after time. This is going to be a huge play for you against zone coverage. And what I'll tell you is, you organically in the wild online, you're going to face more two-man under. When you face better competition, what you're going to get is zone blitzing. So that's where this comes in hand. Know that if you're going to play a regular ranked game, you might not want to use this play because you're going to see a lot more two-man under. But if you're facing better competition, more heavy zone blitzing, this play is crucial to the success of your offense. You think you could run this play for us?
I think I could.
You could?
I think I can handle it.
All right. So the next play we take a look at, though, that complements this is the run audible down. We'll actually go out and show you what the play looks like. And the play is the inside zone split. And this is a very good run. You remember we talked about this run with the well. This is the well. This is another version of the well. It's the same type of formation, same run, where Olsen would be back further. And what we like to do with this is we like to introduce that motion with Smith. And I just like to get up and find yards, find positive yards in the run game. In the interior of the line, I can try and cut it out wide if I want. But it's straightforward running with this play, guys. You're not trying to be too fancy. You're just trying to pick up positive yards on the ground. And right there, boom, nice cut there by Barner.
That's what Barner will give you, a little extra ability to cut. Now this run we used to use from either Buffalo or Tampa. It was the well from like Twim 98 area, but it is also capable of being ran from this formation, and something that we've always liked, especially in the college football games.
Right, and what I like about this is that you get the run coming upfield because the quarterback and the running back are offset. The running back kind of gets it in a full head of steam going at the line of scrimmage, rather than getting it from that gun two back where he's a little more stiff when he gets the ball, and you're just ready to go. And you just get just a convoy of blockers just going for you. So one thing I really like about this run, though, guys, is that you can use the motion to make it effective, but it's also effective just stock. It's just no motion, faking an FL screen, leaving it alone, not using motion, not letting your opponent key in on the run. You're going to have a lot of success with it. You can juke and jive. Right there, you saw that the defender was shooting that gap, and I was able to cut to the right to get away from him. And that's the big part about this run. There's a lot of flexibility in it. Pound for pound, probably the best run in the game, the most consistent run in the game. You're going to be able to pick up yards with it. Your opponent's going to have to worry about stopping the run. And the beautiful thing about this, guys, is when you start motioning that guy over, when you start running the ball, all the attention is going to go to the middle of the field, and it leaves that FL screen wide open. So make sure you run this play often. Make sure you run this play early, and you're going to have a lot of success with this play. And it builds off of the next two plays we're going to show. We'll go back out and show you the next play, but the play is the play action play from this formation. It's already preset built in, and we'll show you why it's very successful.
Yeah.
So it's the PA play. It's built in already. And this is very similar to what we did out of the gun doubles with the PA in the PA jet sweep. So what I do here is I place our far left receiver LaFell on a drag. I then place Olsen on a wheel, and I place Steve Smith on a streak down that right sideline. And what we get here is we get the same handoff, the same fake to Barner, but what I'm looking to do here is to break the run off and look to roll upfield to the right. And what I'm going to get against zone coverage is I'm going to have Olsen should be in a good position down that sideline, or I can hit Barner in the flat, and I also have the two crossing patterns over the middle, or I can look to scramble with Cam Newton. So snap of the ball, break that off, and then I'm looking to go. And you can see the defense gets caught up in a bad spot with that rollout. And when you get that wheel to cut it back upfield, he becomes a lead blocker for you.
You're excited. I like this. It's good. This is good. This is why you need that mobile quarterback.
Right. The mobile quarterback is extremely important. But what I love about it is that it's the same play fake. It looks like the run.
You're so excited.
It looks like the run.
You're so excited.
I'm excited, yeah.
You're so excited.
It looks like the run. So that's what's good about this play. So if you do get someone to overcommit to it, you're going to have a lot of success with this play. And, of course, if Olsen's there in that flat, you can target him. Nice little track down there by the defensive end. But, again, one more time, snap of the ball, you look to roll out. And this time the defender came in cut down, so I look to dump the ball off to Olsen. If you do get a man-to-man look, what will end up happening is you should be able to have room to scramble because every defender will be matched up against their defender. So if you get the man-to-man look, you're not looking to throw, you're looking to just cut up field and follow it. One thing you'll note there is you got to try and get to that edge before that linebacker, because the route to Barner, he doesn't cut up field. He just runs that little flat. So you got to be kind of quick to get out there.
Maybe I user them, and I eat the fake, and then
eat the fake, and then you go. And now you get lead blockers. You get lead blockers in front, and then you got Cam Newton doing his thing for a big gain. So that's our main passing play.
You just quickly audible to that by pressing X and then right on the left stick, and that is going to get you into that play without having to call it. You just, anytime you sense it could work because they're about to jump the handoff, you know that you can go for it.
One thing I want to note too is you don't have to roll out. It's not a play that I like to, because it's just an added element.
Don't try and do too much if you don't have to. He likes to try and scramble, but I mean, you're gonna be getting people. Maybe they even run commit. Maybe they crash everybody. But it's gonna leave the middle open because the linebackers are gonna fight downhill.
The crossing patterns there, guys, are absolutely killer. And if you do get a run commit, you have Steve Smith on that deep vertical, and the flats are open. You can scramble. If you zone blitz, you're in trouble. I've done this many, many times where I just scramble for touchdowns with Cam Newton, with other guys. So you're going to have a lot of success with this. It works beautifully with this handoff to Barner because the same play fake, and then we'll show you the next play, which is the read option, how it has the same handoff as the read option, which is great as well. I do actually want to go right back to I missed one play on the FL screen because I want to show you something, why we wheeled the route to Olsen. One of the main reasons we wheeled the route to Olsen is because we want that play to look similar to the PA play. So the wheel makes it look similar. What I also like about man-to-man against this play is the following. So if we get man-to-man, if I get man-to-man, when Olsen breaks the sideline, there's usually room to throw a pass to him if I get man-to-man. So right about there, because the blockers get in the way, there's usually it's a bailout route against man-to-man. It's not going to pick you up huge yards, but what's important is that if you recognize man, you can get the ball out there quickly to him, and then you can sometimes get that lead block. So it's kind of like you salvage it. The problem is if you miss that initial read, you're in trouble.
Then the play is almost over. Then you got to kind of scramble.
Right. So it's there. So it's a pre-snap read. You got to see, okay.
So you don't throw to Olsen. You see man.
Right. It's man.
I just missed Olsen. Yeah.
Right. And it's a scary route. And I think it's one of those plays where you always say to me, I would never throw that ball.
Yeah.
I would never throw that ball. But it is an option. It's there. The biggest problem that you'll have with it is if you make a late read. If you make a late read, you're in trouble. You need to throw it on time. Right there, I tried to throw it late on purpose, and the defender was there, but I completed it anyway. So just know that's an option. Know it's there, and that's the main reason why we wheel him, is to make it look like that. But it's also a very solid option against man-to-man in the FL screen. So this next play, though, we'll take a look at is the gun wing offset weak again, and then we're going to take a look at the read option in simple. Very simple. It's you read the read key. Here it is. He crashes in. I'm gone. And what I like about this read option is, once again, because of the offset nature of the formation, you get both Newton and the running back running forward after the play fake rather than being like set and still. So here's the play fake. Watch Newton. He's kind of already going in that direction. His momentum's already going, so it's very easy for me to hold down the sprint and go.
I popped you.
And what's key, guys, is this is the same fake, the same handoff animation as the play action, as the run. So it's all meshing together beautifully. And that time I'm just going to give the ball, and I'm gone with Barner. I'm just gone. And this formation is weighted to the right, so you do have a lot of running room on that left of the field. So when your opponent starts cheating on the screen, they start cheating on that PA play, the read option is now open.
Right, because you're going to tend to take. I got this extra.
Your extra defender is going to go on that right.
So I'm dropping all my tensions over here. I see the run, trying to break down, and especially if they're going to be super aggressive with the run and try and stop just the well play, that's going to leave open potentially Newton for big yards.
Right, and you start thinking of all the plays your opponent has to defend out of this formation. Now you get number one, you have to defend the well, you have to defend the FL screen. Then you have to defend that PA play. The PA play is a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare to defend. And those are just our kind of like our trinket plays. We have our one main passing play that we're going to come up and show you next. It's actually a quick audible as well. The play is called vertical tight end cross. And it's a great play because the route to the tight end is just a great route, beating man, beating zone. This is our main passing play if we are looking to pass. And the adjustments we make on this are as follows. We place Brandon LaFell. If we think it's man-to-man, we're going to put him on an out because that's an out route we want to target. Then we place Barner on an option route, and then we leave the two verticals on the right side. If we get an isolated situation with Ginn, we're going to target him in that slot because he's a burner, and that's where we want to target him. If we think we can maybe fit the ball to Smith down the sideline, we can get to him. Or if, I know Farles loves his out, so what we do potentially is put Smith on an out. So you have this play that has 4 routes stock that beat man-to-man coverage. And then, of course, if they ever get aggressive with that deep safety to try and make some plays, we're going to make them pay with Ted Ballgame Ginn.
Right.
So that's what I like about this play.
Maybe you hit him to this guy a lot, and then all of a sudden...
And then they're done. I mean, when I say they're done, there's very, 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 very few defenders that will be able to hang on that route. And there's not enough defenders to stop all the options on this play. So what is going to naturally happen is they're going to have to bring a safety up. To stop the run, to stop the screen, stop the options, they're going to have to bring a safety up. And where I have found the safety that they usually bring up is that strong safety because they feel as though they can get back. But the problem is they usually can't get back. And if they leave the middle of the field open, I'm going to try and target Greg Olsen. That time I didn't put Barner on his route. So here the safety's up, and what I need to do is recognize that. And look how much separation there is there. Is that the most ridiculous deep ball you've ever seen? I mean, that was ridiculous. So this is just against man-to-man. So the other options, you obviously have the outs, but you can see how this option route to Barner is
yeah, so
really
option
good.
routes, we showed you how those guys work, but if you don't know, option route will run against man-to-man. He'll cut left and go out. If not, against zone, he'll sit over the middle of the field and leave you with a nice. So against cover 3, the option route, or cover 2, whatever, option route will sit over the middle to Barner to give you a safety outlet underneath, and then that can open up other things for your offense. So that's a nice read on this play as well.
Right. So this play, every route beats man. Depending on the situation, you have great underneath routes, great outside routes, obviously the deep pattern. Then if we do get a zone look, the same routes still apply. So typically what we'll do, we'll place LaFell on a drag. We place Barner. We either option him or wheel him. If we think it's a zone blitz, we're going to place him on a wheel. If we think it's just a regular zone, we're going to put him on an option. And then the verticals on the right are good because they stretch the defense, and then they usually leaves that drag open underneath. Or if you think you can fit an out in, obviously now it's always a good option. So here it looks like we get a cover 3. So here's the defense, here's the defense, here's the defense, and we got the underneath pattern. To LaFell, usually our first option. We do like the route to Greg Olsen as well. So here's that route to Olsen. As soon as he shakes there, you fit it into him right
there. Drags in the shake route there are going to always pretty much get open against the zone at some point. They're not being where they have to make a cut to shake. They just have to go through a tender area of the zone. There's always tender areas in zones, and since they are covering so much of the field, there's always going to be a chance to throw it to them if you wait long enough to get the ball into them.
Right there, you actually got me with man. I was expecting zone, but boom. Good thing my play's built to stop at both things. And this time we get the zone coverage again. And this time cover 2, and that's the other part about that angled streak. It's angled so you get into a better spot to attack cover 2 zone. So that was actually a nice little change up. I wasn't actually ready for that. But I saw that the safety split deep. So one more time, that cover 2, you can actually hit either of these routes, the Smith route or that route, because the safety is split in between them. And they're really not going to do a very good job to stop either one of those vertical routes. If you get to cover 3, I do like this route again. Let him clear right about there, and then you can sneak that route, and then you're gone with Teddy Ballgame Ginn. You're gone.
It's a nice play.
So this is our main passing play. When I need to pass, I need to move the ball. This is what I'll go to from this formation, and it's extremely successful. Mainly probably because of that Olsen route. That Olsen route is unique, and that's what makes this whole play work. So we do have a couple more passing play or a couple more running plays from this formation we use. Halfback draw, the power row, and the counter. These are all plays that you need to use in specific situations. So if you get coverage defense, we don't even really need to break them down, right? Because
coverage
if you get coverage defense, the draw.
Hit them with a draw. If they're too far,
line in the middle, the power O is an option.
Yep, run that instead of the well.
If you get a lot of man-to-man and they start doing a very good job of containing the quarterback, I really recommend you start running the halfback counter from this formation. Because the counter, why? Because if they contain the quarterback, they're taking it away, making it a dive, and if they're blowing up the dive, then it kind of takes the option away, right? Well, if they play a lot of two-man under, you're going to get the formation to be weighted to the right because the extra defender that would be on that left side, the left slot, is going to be on the right slot now, manned up, and you're going to have that left edge sealed off. You're going to have 2 pulling guards, and then you're going to have the 1 stand-up defender, so you should have space to get out wide. So the counter is a read against man, the power O's if they're stacked in the middle, and then the draws if you're facing coverage.
And you can run the inside zone and try and break it out to the right, but use the power O instead if it's becoming clear that they're taken away up the middle or what
the power O is the power O is very, very good. We don't usually
it could almost
run.
be its own thing, but we like the zone better. But it's still, if that wasn't in the playbook, this would still be a pretty good formation with just the power O.
Right. And the last play, guys, that we use is the halfback slip screen, and I like this play a lot in the red zone because I usually save it for the red zone situations because they're so used to everything going to the right. They're so used to the runs and the options. And then what I'll typically do is I just do a little flares to Olsen and Barner. So Barner's on the stock screen. Olsen's on a flare. I create a mesh in the middle of the field, and then if I was at the red zone, a little out to Smith, something like that. So what I'm trying to do is now change the flow of this formation. Usually everything to the right. Now it's coming to the left. I have 2 screen reads here. My initial read is Olsen. Is Olsen open? I can check down to him right away. Hopefully the ball bounces off him and then Barner can catch it. But you can have 2 options there that you want to target with the screen. If you want to fake something here, something that's good too is you put Barner on a streak. He draws that attention, and then Olsen's underneath as an option to pick up yards. And in the red zone, you're only looking for a couple of yards. And this play typically is very successful for me because the ebb and flow of this formation goes right to left rather than left to right, which is very effective. And the other thing I want to show, this is more of a kind of on-the-fly style play calling with this formation. So if you get a lot of zone coverage, specifically a lot of zone blitzing, you could call this play. You could call the play-action play, doesn't really matter. So if we get that zone blitz type look, what's really effective from this is running dual swings because it kind of makes a makeshift screen. So say you really like that route to Ginn. You can still use this play against a zone blitz. You love the route to Ginn, put 2 outs on the outside, but then you kind of have a makeshift screen here because look at this. You're going to get the lead blocking now from Olsen, and it doesn't work very well against man-to-man, but it works extremely well against zone, and you can do it to both sides of the field. And again, this has to be a read by you. This has to be an on-the-call read. If I see the zone blitz, I'm trying to just catch them off guard with something different that they haven't seen.
Gibbs moving a slot corner, and you know something's up. Smells fishy.
Right, and now I have a lead blocker, and maybe the lead blocker only got me 4 extra yards there, but that's 4 extra yards. It's crucial, and you're going to let your opponent know that, hey, I can beat you with underneath flares, things like that.
Right, they guard the halfback a lot. If they use to guard the halfback,
And this is another great way to run the screen. You run Olsen to the left, Barner to the right. They're going to see that route to Barner maybe and freak out.
Whoa.
And then you have the screen coming to that backside.
Yep.
So you can just mix things up, get creative in the backfield. This offense allows you to be creative, and this is that one main formation. You could live in this formation most times all game long.
So guys, if you're liking this breakdown, this is just one formation inside this. Small sample of the stuff that you're going to get in the winner's kit at MaddenTips.com. We already have 8 playbooks broken down, 4 offensive, 4 defensive, and there'll be more next-gen stuff coming soon to that. So a super deal coming up on Black Friday for that. Check out MaddenTips.com. I want you guys to look into that if you're digging this, because we get more in-depth with that on the site. So appreciate it if you look at the winner's kit, but we'll keep going here with our scheme from the Green Bay Packers Playbook.
And speaking of winner's kit, we're going to break down a play that's actually in the winner's kit. You know that we've talked a ton about Gun Bunch Z-Spot. And what's coming up here for a next gen with the winner's kit, you're going to get a little bonus with that Niners playbook that's going to be coming out. And it's going to be something that you're going to be able to use successfully. It focuses on the Gun Bunch strong formation in the Niners playbook. Well, the Packers actually have a couple of those Gun Bunch strong plays built into them. And one of the plays that we're going to take a look at in depth in that Niners playbook is the strong PA wide receiver in. And I want to talk about this play. So ZFarls is going to come out in a cover 4 from the nickel 3-5, and we're going to show you why I like this play so much. So Number one, I like the play action on the play. Number two, every route, I absolutely love stock. So if you're facing any type of zone coverage, what I typically do this play, I'll actually place Williams on an option route. If I get man-to-man coverage, so Farls goes to man-to-man here real quick. If I get man-to-man coverage, I'm going to have this route to LaFell. He's going to get inside release, and then I know that's a very easy option. And what I like about that is I have it in that gets inside release, no press, so it's going to be consistent, and I can play an inside-outside approach with an in and an out, and I make my opponent have to defend either one of them. So it becomes extremely difficult. So that's the very first read. If you think 2 men under, you know you have that in. Most people are ready for outs these days. Ins are kind of the new fad, kind of the new thing, right? Ins are very difficult to stop as well. So that's a read against man-to-man. Another option that you have here, if you do get man-to-man, the route to Smith, it's very similar to that gun bunch Z-spot. As it breaks over that deep middle part of the field, it's just an absolutely devastating deep ball. Again, it's a deep ball that most people aren't accustomed to seeing now, coming left to right.
Not usually beaten by 2 men under that far down the field.
Right.
You know?
And if you motion them out, you can get even better separation.
This is something we'll explore more on Next Gen in the guide coming up in the Winner's Kit. So we just want to give you a quick showing of it, but there's some new stuff that the Next Gen game does just a little bit different that's going to make it even more effective to go downfield. So
right.
It's nice.
Great play, guys. And again, we break it down a lot more in the Winner's Kit coming up. So guys that have that, you'll have this. It's one of my favorite plays in combination with the Z-Spot.
Soon. We're trying to get out to you as fast as possible. So keep an eye out for that, but we'll give you more updates on that at Madden Tips. So looking into that, that's something else that you're going to be getting in the Winner's Kit as we come up with this big Black Friday sale. And let's take a look at some running formations for this free guide and check it out here on TWIM 102.
So one play formation I really like a lot is this I-form tight pair, and we always talk about bang for your buck plays and formations, and I think this is one of them, and I think the play right here is stretch. So we talked earlier about having a guy like DeAngelo Williams who you're going to probably just give the ball to and run the ball a lot, or maybe Mike Tolbert. Well, this is a time to use that and use those guys. So here I'm going to use DeAngelo Williams here.
He's already in, baby, looking good.
Maybe punch in Tolbert, but I like this halfback stretch. It's a simple run. There's not a lot of adjustments to it. You're just looking to bounce it outside. I mean, there's really nothing to do with setup-wise. You just call it and you go. And you're just looking to hope to get some good blocking, and you're just trying to get upfield and make a play on the ball. You can playmaker it to the right. It's not needed, but it's very simple. I mean, there's not a lot to talk about it. You call it and you go. They were getting great blocks off that edge, and you go. You run this speed. This play is Oregon Duck speed. You just go fast. And you're just looking to get to the outside edge. Here we get the good seal. We get a good kick block there with our tight end, and we're able to get upfield for big yards. What I usually do with this play is I'll run it to the left. I go no huddle, and I flip it and run to the right. Go no huddle, flip, and keep it running to the left, and I go back and forth. Because your opponent's going to have to set up to stop this to the left. Well, then I run it to the right, and now they're in trouble. So you can see the blocking you get on this opens those run up for big plays. And one thing I like about this play and this formation is the quick audible to the right is a stock play. So if you give me 2 men under, guys that have the Winner's Kit, another great Winner's Kit play, guys that have the Winner's Kit should recognize this route to the right here to Steve Smith. And I absolutely love this route because if you get 2 men under look, it's a snap and it's an inside throw that you need to work on, click on, and make a play. And where this works and it's extremely successful is in the red zone. Because if you can get out in a situation where you get a cover 2 zone or if you get a 2 man under and then you run this play, they're expecting run, then you can snap, quick inside release, and you're able to get a first down. I mean, look at the yards I got on that.
Yeah, and that's just one route on one of our favorite plays from the Rams playbook that is broken down fully in the Winner's Kit. It gives you some more tips on how to run it and also other stuff to build off that play with. So once again, more value there for those guys. But a nice little route there. And anytime you see that route that you can audible to, you know that you like it for certain yardage. And that's what's so big about the Winner's Kit. It's got so many different playbooks, so many different concepts that carry over. And you see it quickly in one of these things, and then you can say, oh, I've seen that route before. Okay, use it like this to build off this play. Right. I've been running left. Now we can all of a sudden quick pass right if they, are keying in on it too much.
Right, and I really like this route to Williams out of the backfield as another like little quick pass, and it's very effective on on short yardage situations in the red zone. It's a snap. As soon as he kind of gets it to break, I throw it to him. And as you can see, he kind of catches it, and his momentum is going to allow him to maybe carry it and try and break it up to the right part of the field.
Yeah, it really depends on the alignment. I'm getting a good alignment right here on against it with this formation, but especially for guys who like to cover the halfback or are going to be running downhill to try and stop that run, it can leak out very quick.
More so what I mean about that play is I'm not looking to break that for a big game.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for a 2-yard pass.
Right.
If it's 3rd and 2 or if I'm in the red zone, I want him to catch it right there because his momentum's he's about to break to the left. It's a good time to throw him the ball because he's going to catch it there. If I wait on that throw, what's going to happen? I'll show you here. If I wait on this throw and I throw it now, he can get let up, and a lot of times he gets hit stuck and just destroyed, whereas you have a better chance of him catching that ball. When he gets the ball right about there, he kind of catches it in the flat, and then you can maybe make a play on it and get a short gain. What's also good about this formation, guys, the play-action play has a built-in corner route, and I love that corner route. What I'll typically do here is I would streak the tight end.
Gibbs likes to leave the play action.
Love it.
I'm more of a guy who likes to cancel the play action, but try leaving it. It's pretty good, actually.
So what I like here, guys, is number one, you have the built-in corner. You have the fullback going to the flat. What I would typically do, though, is I block the fullback for a little extra blocking, and then I have the far right receiver coming on a drag, so he kind of becomes that flat route. So typically after the play fake, he will be over there, but after the play fake, you want to target that tight end. It's simple. I mean, in simple passes, are you going to be able to live in this formation and pass out of this all day? No. But what will you be able to do? What you're going to be able to do is dink and dunk.
If they blitz their linebackers because they hate that you're running the stretch on them, you got to make them pay.
Right. And it's get in and get out type of passing, right? I'm going to make you have to respect this formation, this passing for one drive only a game, and can you do it in the heat of the battle? You haven't seen it all game. Can you stop it at the end of the game when I'm trying to close out a 7-point lead? Probably not, and that's what we like about this formation. Combination of the stretch, a couple of those quick passes, and of course this play with the tight end corner, and you're going to have a very successful end of the game formation to close games out. I know you like the stretch a lot.
Big fan of the stretch. It doesn't really matter the formation. I like the angle that the handoff's on, especially next gen guys that are going to try some of these plays. Stretches are not as effective due to your inability to cut it outside, and they don't hold their blocks quite as long on next gen, but you still want that good run path. When the quarterback hands it off, you want to keep on that stretch angle that he is putting you on, and that way on next gen you can keep your momentum, keep your speed, and you can learn how to cut back eventually to take that handoff and get it up through the middle, rather than on this gen we take it outside. We take it outside too much. On next gen you got to learn to look for that cutback lane and then go, but you want to keep it on that path, and it is still a good run as you saw on TWIM 101. So
the next thing we're going to take a look at, guys, is another under center formation, single back tight flex, and we built on this formation from the Chicago Bears TWIM a couple of weeks ago.
TWIM 97 bonus. It was between 97 and 98. It was a bonus show. Free scheme. TWIM 97 and a half.
And what I like about this formation specifically is, number one, it has an off tackle, and that's what kind of makes this whole formation even more successful than that Bears. The Bears, we use the halfback slam, and that run is good, just not as good. And this whole formation, what I like about this a lot is I use this tight end here, and the main read, again, guys, with this play is if I see that defender up in the face of that tight end, I'm not going to call the play action play. If I see that defender is backed up, so like a cover 3, he's backed up, I want to use the quick audible, the play action, X and then left on the right stick, and I'm just looking to snap throw this to Nelson. This is an annoyance play.
You got to block the halfback to get rid of, so you can quick pass it real fast.
Right. And that's the key. Do I see that defender's up, or is he back? If he's back, snap and you throw it to him quick and look to get upfield and pick up a few yards. This is, again, another one of those dink and dunk formations. You're just looking to annoy your opponent, get a couple, maybe 3, 5, or 6 plays out of it, one drive a game, just an annoyance, a change of pace. So if I do see that defender's up, I will run the off tackle. And what I really like about this formation is when I motion Olsen to the left, that defender does not follow him like you typically see, because Olsen's going to go in the backfield. So that defender's going to stay out wide. So show me your play art. So he's now not in a good position to help and support off this left edge. And so now it's almost like I have an I-form tight off tackle. And this run gets great blocking, not there by Calvin Pace as I say it, but Calvin Pace tore Olsen up there. So what I like here, though, is motion Olsen back,
He goes with the fullback rather than across the
Right.
whole formation.
And then I'm looking to get upfield and kick the run. And what I'll say is on next gen, Olsen doesn't have the same blocking. So you'll notice on next gen, Olsen doesn't have that tail where he's blocking. He'll just run up the A gap to block. So the blocking isn't as good as it is on current gen. But on current gen, this blocking is absolutely ridiculous. You get almost like a burst from Olsen, and then you just go. And that's what Williams provides right there that Barner doesn't. Williams gets to the edge a little bit better. So then what you can do, obviously, is keep the run to the right. So Olsen will kick out to the right here. And you're just looking to pound the rock with this formation, but you have a couple passing plays that you like as well. So you have that quick play action play that you can dink and dunk to the right, but you can also leave the play action. I like to still fake the playmaker left, playmaker right, motion Olsen in the backfield, show the play action, and then I like to target my A receiver or that Y receiver. And this is a big play. It has big play potential written all over it because what a flip that was. And you have two deep crossing patterns. You have underneath flat. I really like this play against man-to-man because the route to Smith usually gets very, very good separation. So the snap of the ball, they think the run, and someone lost their coverage. Olsen trying to make a play there. So we'll show you that one more time. It's pretty simple, guys. Motion Olsen in the back, snap the ball. We're faking that run. And this time we get lined up on the linebacker. Steve Smith gets a huge, huge play in the passing game, and that's how you're going to see this formation work. You can use the screen from it. We don't try to get too fancy with crazy hot routes. We're using play action. We're using that quick pass. We're using off tackle. Mix the screen every once in a while, and that's it. That's going to conclude this Green Bay Packers. We do use that gun bunch, but we don't want to break it down too much because it's in some of our other guys. We showed you a couple plays. We've already talked about gun Z spot to exhaustion. So if you haven't seen it, you go back and look at some of our old stuff. And you're going to be able to have a lot of success with this, starting with that gun flex week.
All right, guys, that is it for this part. So make sure you check out the winner's kit on MaddenTips.com. That's my only pitch for this Thanksgiving because we're going to give you a great deal, the best deal of the season. I believe 75% off starting soon on MaddenTips.com. So check it out. Hopefully you enjoyed this Packers thing, and we'll look forward to talking more about it this weekend.
Lock up. Happy Thanksgiving. Happy Turkey Day.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Hit us up. We'll be playing Xbox. We'll be playing PS4. We'll be hanging out. So looking forward to that. And lock up.